Hi classmates, this is Carrie and welcome to my home. I thought I would do my video presentation by the fire. It's a little chilly out today and this is where you normally would find me studying. And I figured that if this presentation was a total snooze for you, you could just sit back and enjoy your cup of coffee and stare into the fire. So anyway, here we go. My presentation is on local and national professional counseling organizations that you as a professional and even as a grad student can be a part of. So as you can see on my handout, it's a little bit long and I do apologize, but as I begin putting together, I really wanted to make sure that you had in your hand the major players of these different associations, as well as what memberships would cost, what memberships would cost for you, as well as what benefits you would get from being a member of their organization. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the ACA, and these aren't in any necessarily particular order, but I am a member of the ACA and I have been for nearly a year, and so it kind of made sense for me to start there. So the American Counseling Association is an organization, like I said, that I've been a part of, and it is a phenomenal organization, and they really are about education, education, education. And as we all know as grad students, that as we in the next few years launch our own careers, whatever that might be, however that might look, that really it's going to be critical for us to be continuing to educate ourselves through conferences, seminars, webinars, journal articles, research publications, and the ACA has all of those things and more. And so I really feel like the ACA is a great opportunity for us as grad students to begin that journey, I guess, of being a part of a professional membership. And you get, as a student, you get all the perks and benefits of being a member, as well as your student membership of $96 covers your liability insurance. And I know that many of you are looking to begin your practicum this next semester, and if you're still out there looking for insurance, I just would hope that you would take a look at the ACA, see all the member benefits that you would be gaining as a student member, as well as the perk of having your liability insurance covered through them. One of the other things that I really enjoy about being a member with ACA is just the opportunity to network with other professionals. There's lots of other grad students on there, even local grad students that you can connect with, lots of forums and discussions to be a part of. And then there's also some great podcasts that even as a non-member you can go on, and it costs you a little bit of money, but you can see that on that handout. You can go and even as a non-member, connect with their podcasts. And the podcasts are really seminars and webinars that ACA members have presented on, and that information has been recorded and kept there as podcasts that you can download. So it's just a great organization to be a part of in continuing your education. And I know that all these associations, they offer these great deals for us as grad students, right? So that we're already in the door, and then when we graduate, then our membership is bumped up to a professional level, which means more money. But hopefully we'll be making more money then and be able to afford some of these professional memberships. But I would really encourage you to take a look at the ACA, and they do some amazing work as far as advocacy for our profession and on the legislative level. And I think a lot of these organizations do. But the ACA is pretty far reaching, and so I just really encourage you to take a look at it. And like I said, if you're needing the liability insurance, it's really a great way to go because you do get the perks of a member as well as that insurance coverage. So that's the ACA in a nutshell anyway. The next organization that I'm going to highlight on the handout is the APA, and that's the American Psychological Association. And as I'm sure you can tell by the title of their association, this really is the doctorate level association. So I know that there are a few of you in class that have expressed a desire to possibly continue your education after graduating from Western and going for your PsyD or your PhD. Maybe you want to do research, maybe you want to teach, maybe you just want the letters behind your name, I don't know. But you're more motivated than I am. So, but for those of you that really see yourself continue your education, the APA would be a great place for you to put your money. as far as membership goes. We as graduate students and even undergraduate students can be a part of the APA, even though we obviously don't have all those initials behind our name. But there's different levels of membership. And really what the APA is about is research, which makes sense, right? They are a real big advocate for research methodology and really the ethics of research, making sure that research that is being conducted is above board so that research findings are not skewed in any way. And so they are really a major player in that way. Access as a member to public research publications, research projects, things that are going on in that area really are a lot about what the APA is about. And so for those of you that really are considering that PhD or PsyD, I think the APA would maybe be a great place for you to start a membership so you can begin to connect with other professionals that are at the doctorate level and really see what they're doing out there. And you can connect with professionals that are here in our own community. And other students that maybe are pursuing their PhD or their PsyD and be able to connect with them and see about their experience, their education, where they're getting their education, as well as what their research is showing. So that might be a great place for you if that's more your bent. So that's the APA. And I know I'm going through these fast, but I don't want to run out of time. And I also just want to make sure that you hear just a little bit about each of these organizations. So the next one is NAMI, and I hope I'm saying that right. And if I'm not, please correct me. But this is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and I'm sure that all of you have heard of NAMI. They do some amazing work. This really is a grassroots organization, and by that I mean they are literally in your backyard. They are an organization that is a national organization that is brought down to a state level and then is brought down to a local level. And the thing that I love about NAMI is if you have an advocate heart, if you have a spirit for advocacy, and that really is your bent, then NAMI is a phenomenal organization to be a part of. One of the things that I love about NAMI too is basically all their resources are free. For the most part. There are a few benefits of being a member, but membership is only $35. So it's really feasible for any of us to be a part of NAMI. And as you can see on the handout, I did put the national headquarters info there, but then I broke it down into states. So obviously Oregon and Washington State is represented there. And then I did obviously the two counties that I figured the majority of you would be living in. So Multnomah County for Oregon, and then Southwest Washington, Clark County, for our friends that are over there in Vancouver. And I'm out in Washington County, and I've spent some time on the NAMI website, on the Washington County website there. And there's a lot of opportunity there. NAMI is run by a lot of volunteers. And it's a great way to connect with other professionals that are right there, literally in your neighborhood, and to see what NAMI is doing as far as educating, not only at a legislative level, but also just at a very public level, neighborhood level, in educating the public on what resources are available for those that are struggling with mental illness, maybe family members too. And really educating the public on what mental illness is, excuse me, and what it is not. And really advocating for resources to be readily available for those members of our neighborhoods and our communities that are needing help, and for family members that are needing help with their loved one. And so I think NAMI is such a phenomenal organization, and so many of the resources are available for free on their websites. So please, if you haven't, just take the time to just kind of cruise around and really look at the state and your local level, whatever county you're in. And I think it's a phenomenal organization to be a part of as a volunteer. I think that as grad students, this might be a really great, if you're in between practicums or internships, or you're not sure you're ready to start practicum yet, maybe you don't have the classes in, maybe personally you're just not ready to begin, NAMI might be a great place to do a little bit of volunteer work come this spring or summer. I know you're busy, we're all busy, but this might be a great opportunity to really get some volunteer hours in and get some experience on a local level with just a really great organization that could probably use an extra set of hands. So that's NAMI. And the next organization I want to look at is ORCA. I know that we all have heard Kay talk about her involvement with ORCA. That's the Oregon Counseling Association. And there's the pertinent information for you there, their website, if you want to get on there and look around. And I'm a member of ORCA, and I really feel like this is, well, for those of you that don't know, it's a branch of the ACA. So this is the state branch of the ACA. And so this is the Oregon branch. And I feel like ORCA is such a great organization to be a part of because at a state level, you have the benefits that you would as an ACA member. You have the connection with other professionals as well as the resources like publications, research, as well as that advocacy piece for professionals when we are facing legislation that's going to adversely affect our practice, our agency, and especially our clients. ORCA has a very strong voice in the Oregon state legislation, and I think that being a part of that, like Kay has been and continues to be, a voice for and against legislation that is going to really not be a benefit for our clients and for our practices. I think having that professional voice advocating for our profession as well as for our clients is vital. And so I think ORCA could be a really great organization that you might want to look into. Membership is really not that much for students. It looks like it's about $48. And it's just an opportunity to really access all of the great information that they have on there and the resources. And, you know, as the students, when we're looking towards graduation and becoming a licensed professional, you know, we have learned in this class that then kicks in the obligation and the responsibility as well as the privilege of continuing our education. And ORCA is a great way of getting those continuing education credits through their conferences, through their webinars, different seminars, and who knows, maybe one of us will be a presenter for ORCA one of these days. So anyway, ORCA I think would be a great organization to take a look at their membership and see if that's a place where you would want to put your money. And lastly, the AACC is the American Association of Christian Counselors, and I wanted to highlight this one because as believers, I think the AACC could be a really great place for us as Christians and as professional counselors to have really a voice in educating pastors and lay leaders about how to best help congregants. We know as church members that our pastors, our elders, our leadership is spending time counseling congregants. And I think this is an association that really is committed to providing educational resources, tools, and skills for those lay professionals that really are spending time with people in a non-professional counseling setting. And so I think as professionals, it's great to have a voice in that. I also think it's a great place to connect with other professional believers that maybe are struggling with some of the same ethical dilemmas that maybe we are having in our own practice and in our own agency as we are dealing with maybe specific legislation that is being passed out in the secular world that makes practice hard for us as believers as we're trying to integrate our biblical worldview with what the secular counseling professional practice tells us is ethical and legal. And so I think as we're beginning to try to mesh those two things together, sometimes that can be difficult. And this might be a great membership to look into to be able to connect with other professionals that are also believers. So I think that's about it for me. I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and if I don't see you on Monday, I just pray that your holidays are full of celebration and worship of our Savior, and that you have the opportunity to just relax a little bit and have some fun. So I pray that this presentation has been a blessing to you, and we'll see you when we see you. All right, bye-bye.